And, this is just one of many reasons why. So, again, let it flow on auto pay. Make sure that you have set it up correctly. You can do everything over the phone. And why do I love the pledge loan so much? Because it adds what's called comparable credit to your credit profile. And I've talked about this briefly before, but adding comparable credit helps when you're going to buy, say, an auto loan. I just had someone reach out to me today and say, hey, my client wants to get a $150,000 Mercedes Benz. Okay, great. What's the highest auto loan that they've ever had? Well, they've never had an auto loan in the past. Well, guess what? They're not going to get approved for a $150,000 auto loan, even if they purchase an auto trade line. Why? Because they need to have comparable credit that reports to all three credit bureaus. Okay. Now, Mercedes-Benz, they pull TransUnion. So if you're planning to go directly with them, they're going to be pulling FICO 9 from TransUnion, just like Navy Federal. So they're going to want to see comparable credit on your credit profile. If you don't even have a $30,000 installment loan reported, what makes you think they're going to give you $150,000? Okay, you have to build up to that. And that's why doing a pledge loan can be a game changer for a lot of people, because say you do a $200,000 pledge loan, you pay it off, you allow some time to make those payments, like 6 months or so, then go to the auto dealership and go get that $200,000 car. Now, would I recommend getting a $200,000 car in your personal name? Absolutely not. But doing this in your personal name can help you personally guarantee an auto loan for your business. Now, if you don't have a business, absolutely want to, you can, but never put the horse before the carriage. Get your house first. Like a lot of these, songs say, don't buy a $200,000 car before you get a crib. You ain't going to have nowhere to park it, and it's going to look funny being parked in an apartment building that you don't own. So, buy a house first and then get your expensive vehicle, because you don't want to add that debt to income before you buy a house. Buying a car could literally ruin your chances of getting qualified for property, because it might affect, well, not might, but it's going to affect your debt to income. So, sometimes you can get it under your business if you have a business that's been established for at least, a year or two. You can personally guarantee it so that way it doesn't report onto your personal credit, or just wait. Okay. So it just depends on your situation, but I would never recommend buying a $200,000 vehicle before you get your house. So, again, comparable credit, you have to look at what the banks are looking at. They're going to say, hey, has this person ever had $100,000, $50,000? They've never even had $10,000. We don't feel comfortable giving them because they don't have comparable credit. So moving on here, let's talk about who this is for. This is great for people that are looking to add higher limits to their credit profile, looking to build credit. Now, of course, if a lot of people don't have $100,000 sitting around that they can do a pledge loan with, right? You can go as low as $250 for a pledge loan, and we'll get into that shortly. But I want you to have that mindset of when you get your tax returns, or when you get a loan, or when you get some lump sum of money, do a pledge loan. Okay? Do a pledge loan. It's great to build credit. It helps build that relationship directly with the bank, so that way they will give you higher credit. And it adds like a higher primary trade line to your credit profile, so that way, again, when you're going to get comparable credit, you've already added a higher limit, so they're going to try to match that or exceed that limit, because that's what your comparable credit is. Okay? Who is this not good for? This is not good for people that are looking to purchase a home, that are looking to apply for any sort of funding, okay? Why? Because when you do get a pledge loan, it does affect your debt to income ratio. Anytime you get any sort of debt that is reported onto your credit report, whether that's credit card debt or some sort of loan, that affects your debt to income ratio. And that could be the reason why you are denied. Now, if you're looking to rent somewhere, I think this will be perfectly fine, because a lot of times rental places through property management companies, they're just looking for like a 680 or a 700 credit score. They don't really care too much about all of the details. They're really just score orientated, versus banks and financial institutions, they don't have a credit score requirement. Why? Because they don't go off credit score. They go off data points, and they go off the information that's on your credit report. The score is just kind of like the basis for them. That's why you'll see some people that are approved at like a 680, and then some people that have a 750 are denied because they don't have a strong enough credit profile. Okay, so this is not good for those that are going to be applying for any sort of funding. You want to wait until this is paid down and has been established for at least 6 months before you go and apply for any funding. And that's why I talk about the concept build, break, build, because when you're building credit, you don't want to really be applying for anything during that period. And that period should be about a 6 or a 12-month period. So you want to build, get a couple accounts, maybe 3 to 6 new accounts, take a break for 6 to 12 months, and then build again, because you don't want to build too quickly and you don't want to rush the process. Okay, take your time, go slow, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You don't want to overextend yourself. Okay, don't try to keep up with other people because you think, you have to. No, if that just means getting 2 accounts every 6 to 12 months or 1 account, do that. Okay, because some is better than none, and we have to establish a very strong credit profile. And the way that you do that is to simply add strong trade lines that are in your name. Trade lines are just credit accounts that are in your name, like your credit cards, your auto loans, your student loans, your personal loans, any sort of loan that you have in your name that you're responsible for paying on time. That is a trade line. And the more trade lines that you have on your credit report that are paid on time, and preferably on the credit card side, a 0 balance and paid on time. Okay, credit cards are not meant to be abused on your personal credit. They are meant to help build a strong credit profile and payment history so you can qualify for properties and other funding that is going to help build generational wealth and create money making opportunities. Okay, it is not for you to mess up on your personal credit cards and go overspend. It's very, very easy to do. I know that, but we gotta change our mindset. Okay, I also offer coaching. If you need coaching, book a call below. All right, now if you are this is a credit gem. Like, just take a minute. Whew. Lord, thank you for this information. Ask that you guide all of my followers and subscribers to greatness and lead them and give them the strength to be patient and continue on this path. It is not easy, but with God's help and blessing, anything is possible. Amen. Thank you guys. Go ahead and give me a follow. Give me a thumbs up, guys, because I am dropping these gems for you today. So here is the list of banks. If you cannot get into Navy Federal, and we're going to talk about how to get into Navy Federal in just a bit, but if you do not qualify to get into Navy Federal, or you have messed up with Navy Federal in the past and you're not able to get a bank account with them, these are other banks that you can get in with no excuses. Most banks these days, you can open up an account right over the phone. So I don't want to hear any excuses. Oh, I can't go, blah, 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 blah. No excuse zone over here. We are action takers, because action takers are what? Money makers. Okay, let's get it. Patelco, that's a great bank. If you have not heard of them, go to their website. Andrews Federal Credit Union, that's another credit union that you can do this same pledge loan hack with. State Department Federal Credit Union, National Institutes of Health Federal Credit Union, Langley Credit Union, PenFed, that's Pentagon Federal Credit Union. And, PenFed's another one of my personal favorite banks, and anyone can join. You just have to make a $5 donation to their charity of choice. So you can literally go on their website, make that $5 donation, and you're in, okay? Wait 30 to 90 days before you do anything and before you ask them for a pledged loan, okay? Wait. Build that relationship, set up that auto pay, let them see some money flow through your account, get a checking account, get a savings account. If you can do some sort of CD account, do that. Build up that relationship, okay? Get your brownie points with them. Again, auto pay on everything, okay? And you also want to make sure that you have direct deposit with checking and savings account. Have a small amount go into the savings account, have a small amount go into the checking account, just so they can see those reoccurring deposits being made into your account. Space Coast Credit Union. So that's 7 of the 14. You can apply this same concept, this same pledge loan hack, you can do with all of these banks as well. So there's no excuse, okay? Launch Credit Union, Air Force Credit Union, New Vision, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Fort Liberty Federal Credit Union, Princeton Federal Credit Union, Bowater Credit Union. So you notice lots of credit unions out there offer this same service. And if you don't have any of these credit unions, or you're not able to get into any of these banks here, do a Google search, okay? There's thousands and thousands of banks out there. This is just 14, okay? 14 that I know of for sure that will allow you to do the pledge loan. And the great thing about the pledge loan with most of these banks, I can't say all of them because I'm not 100% certain on how all of them operate. They might have different little things that they do differently, okay? But with Navy Federal and most of these other banks, when you do the pledge loan, the money is still in your checking account, so you still have access to it, unlike a credit card, like a secured credit card, where if you spend it, it's going to really affect you in a negative manner because of the utilization. With the pledged loan, the cash is still there. You're just responsible for paying it back. And then once you pay it back, again, the money is still there for you to use. So these are 14 different banks that you can do the pledge loan with, because again, you never want to be monogamous to just one bank. You want to be building relationships with multiple banks in financial institutions, so that way you can get more credit, okay? Start grooming your relationships with the banks, so that way when you do need funding, or you want to buy a vehicle, or you want to buy a house, you already have a relationship with the credit union or financial institution that offers auto loans, that offers mortgages, and you can get a much better interest rate. Talk about the low interest rates.